Hi, I'm Andrea Davis, Agriculture and Natural Resources Horticulture Extension Agent for the City of Virginia Beach. Today we're going to be talking about tech-savvy gardening. So everyone is familiar with the different tools that we can use in gardening. There's quite a few different ones. There's, very sharp tools. There's very dull tools. There's big tools. There's little tools. There's tools for scooping. There's tools for raking. There's tools for cutting. Um, Out of all of these different tools, we use different ones for different jobs, but these are not the only tools available to us. In this day and age, we have a lot of online tools that we can use at our disposal. So today what we're going to do is take a look at some of these different tools that we now have available to us, websites, apps, and what we're really looking for is what of all of these different resources out there are actually useful to us? Which ones are going to provide us really good quality information? So let's take a look and see exactly what all is out there, what is most useful to us in our gardening tasks. So when we're looking for resources, we want reliable resources. We want things that are going to provide us good, solid information that's going to make a difference. So we're going to look for things that are scientific, research-based sources of information. So when searching online, a lot of times we want to specify where we want to find these things to ensure that they are scientific and research-based. Using the extensions EDU and GOV are going to give us some really good resources. Those are educational entities and government agencies. There are also quite a few societies and councils out there that are subject matter specific that can provide us a lot of good quality information. So for educational resources, those ending in EDU, most of these are related to colleges and universities throughout the United States or abroad that maybe have some type of research portion to this particular educational entity. A lot of times here in the United States, when we have universities that have research components with outreach components, they have cooperative extension, and that is who I work for. Again, I'm an extension agent, and cooperative extension's goal is to take that research from the researchers, from the research facility, and take it out to the public and present it in a way that it positively affects their community. So here in Virginia, we have two land-grant universities. These are universities that have a focus on community engagement and outreach. Our two land-grant universities are Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, Virginia, and Virginia State University in Petersburg, Virginia. So these two universities are continually doing research on different things, many different things. And then that information is passed on to Extension, where we bring that to you so that you can use that information. Also, we have the government agencies, the GOV ending on the website. Government agencies are also there to provide good quality research-based information to you on different topics. So here are just a few of the agencies that we commonly use in the horticulture realm. The first one is the Department of Conservation and Recreation, also called DCR, and they have a lot to do with different conservation efforts. You'll find a lot of information on things like water and plants on their website. We also have the Department of Forestry. This particular one focuses on arboriculture or trees. We have the Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. Again, this is a very well-rounded agency, and you'll find a little bit of everything with this one. Specifically for those concerns with agriculture, there is a lot on pesticide usage, licensing, food safety would be included on this at the state level. Next, we have the Environmental Protection Agency, which, as you know, is a federal agency. And we will find a lot of different things on here from conservation efforts. There is information about federal pesticide regulation, also information about things like food safety, food security, and so forth. Those societies and councils, again, they have a lot of subject matter expertise, so they too are collecting data and research to provide to people on very specific topics. So we have the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, which focuses on the Chesapeake Bay, that ecosystem, how it works, how is it doing. They will do updates on the status of this particular body of water as well. Native Plant Society will focus on native plants within different regions. Camellia Society, specifically dealing with camellias. Lynnhaven River Now, dealing specifically with the Lynnhaven River, and again, sort of like the Chesapeake Bay, kind of how it works, how everything is going together in that ecosystem. So we're going to take a look at a few of these different sites and just kind of see what they have to offer. So starting with websites, we're going to look at Virginia Cooperative Extension. So again, this is Cooperative Extension through Virginia Tech, and this is their educational resources page, and you see I have the website listed at the top, and we'll also have a resource available for you with these web addresses. But you can see in the blue banner just above the picture of the yellow plants that here we've got a lot of different topics. Again, Virginia Cooperative Extension is here to provide information to the public on many different things to improve their lives. So you'll see things on here like food and health, lawn and garden, youth, a lot of different topics. And you're free to look through any of those, but these are going to be nice, reliable resources for you. We're going to focus our attention on the lawn and garden section, and you can see when I click on that, the drop down that I get, a lot of different topics within lawn and garden, fruits and vegetables, gardening, insects and pests, lawn, shrubs and trees, nursery and greenhouse, and plants and flowers. Just next to that, we have natural resources. And in that particular, or under that particular heading, we have emergency preparedness, energy, environmental quality, fisheries, forestry, mined land reclamation, wildlife, and water. So let's take a closer look. I'm going to flip back to lawn and garden and see exactly what I can find in there. So once I click on lawn and garden, I'll get a list of different resources. These particular ones that we're looking at right now are PDFs or documents that we can pull off online. And what I'm looking at here is container and raised bed gardening. So those are extremely popular, especially with folks in urban areas with maybe limited space or not great soils. So if I were to click on that heading, container and raised bed gardening, that would open up a little block with me with a summary of that particular document so I can make sure that's what I'm looking for. It contains the information I'd like. And then I can click on the document on the right-hand side of the screen and expand it. And then I have the choice of downloading that document, and I can save it to my computer or I can print it, depending on what I would like to do with that. We will also find in this section, and many of these sections here on the VCE website, some videos. So this is a video series that was done specifically related to turf grasses. So these are a lawn to die for, and different things, how to create a perfect lawn, aerating, choosing the right grass. There's quite a few of these that you can take a look at. And if you click on their headings, it'll click with me. There we go. And this is the actual video on aerating. That's actually an aerator you're seeing there. So you can watch that little video. You can maximize it to make it fit your screen. You can click over and watch it on YouTube. You can save it to your YouTube if you'd like. So a lot of different options of formats on there for you. So next we're going to look at Virginia Cooperative Extension again, but this section is under VSU, Virginia State University, which is our other land-grant university here in Virginia. So they each have their own page with different resources because they have different researchers doing different things. So here we are going to look specifically under agriculture and natural resources. However, I will bring your attention to a few of the other headings that are there. Family and Consumer Sciences, 4-H and Youth, Emergency Preparedness. So a lot of different things there for you. But again, we're going to look at specifically agriculture and natural resources because that's where gardening would fall. So you can see under this category we have aquaculture, forestry, greenhouse, industrial hemp, marketing and agribusiness, small farm outreach program, small fruits and vegetables, small ruminants, sustainable and urban agriculture. I am going to go with sustainable and urban agriculture because I'm thinking kind of small space gardening today. And let's see if we can get this to flip over for us. There we go. So here this kind of gives you an overview of what sustainable and urban agriculture is, so you can make sure that this is where you want to look. And then I'm going to click over on the left-hand side there where it says publications and resources and see what they've got in here for me. So when I do that, I will see a couple of different formats pop up. In the green, we see building healthy soils for urban farming, and that would actually be a PowerPoint that I could look at. And then we've got several documents: composting, companion planting and gardening, container gardening for small spaces, how to start an urban farm, pruning of tomatoes. So lots of different information in here that you can pull and see exactly what's going on, what they have to offer, and how it can benefit you in your gardening tasks. If I slide down that page, it's got some other resources listed kind of by headings. Okay, so the others were featured articles, PowerPoints. This one is going to give me a little bit of information on fall gardening. I've got quite a few different things that I can look at here. Sustainable gardening practices in high tunnel systems. So, and as I scroll down, I'll just find more and more of those. All right, so let's look at some government agencies. And again, just to put in a little plug again for the educational, there are land grants across the United States. We tend to stick to the ones in Virginia because the research is more relevant to us, our zones that we live in here. However, there are a few others out there. For instance, North Carolina State University, a lot of their stuff is very relevant to us because they're just below us. And in fact, in Virginia Beach, where we're a Zone 8, there are several areas of North Carolina that are as well. So they can be very useful. Also, you know, Georgia, Florida, Maryland, all of them have land-grant universities and cooperative extension. You just want to be careful when you leave the state land-grant universities that what you are looking at is relevant to us in our zone. As long as it is included in our zone, you're safe. However, I may not want to look at land-grant universities in Pennsylvania or Minnesota or Arizona because some of the information may not be relevant. Some of it may, but a majority of it may be geared towards their particular zones, which may be different from ours. All right, so looking at government sites, the first one that I have for you is the Department of Conservation and Recreation. And so you can see here some of the things on their site that may be of interest to you. Again, a lot of land and water conservation information on here. So we are going to check out native plants. Okay, so under natural heritage, there is a section on native plants. And when it comes to finding out about native and invasive plants in the state of Virginia, this is the key site to go to find out that information. This is a really great site as well because it divides our state up into the mountain, Piedmont, and coastal plain. Now we're in the coastal plain in the Hampton Roads area, so we would look in that particular section and we're going to find plants native to our area that grow well in our area of the state. So this gets very specific. Which is extremely helpful for us. But you can see here, it's got different things that you can find: natives versus aliens, buying and growing natives, a native plant finder. We've also got the invasive plant list that we can pull off of here to know what we don't want in our lawn and landscape. So this is a great resource when it comes to things like that. Next, we have the Department of Forestry. And again, this is a department related specifically to arboriculture or trees. And you can see there in the white banner all of the different things related to trees that they have available to us, especially things like urban and community forestry. So that's our urban suburban forest, not necessarily our very rural, Washington National Forest kind of thing. So these are some great resources. There's some education and recreation information as well. Let's take a look and see what we can find. Under urban and community forestry, there is a learn section where they've got some information on things like the benefits of trees, tree ID, planting trees, caring for trees. We have some other things about community assistance and just how these things work in different communities. Things like community forest planning. If you are in a group and y'all want to look at creating more forest or preserving forest, Arbor Day in Virginia, when that is, what's going on, how you can create an Arbor Day celebration. Homeowner assistance, planting trees, tree care, how to hire a certified arborist. We get a lot of calls about that. People with tree issues, how do I get a professional out to help me? And this will guide you to finding out who's certified in your area and who you can call. So a lot of different resources on here, and you can click on any one of those and it will take you to those resources directly. We clicked on tree identification just to see, what was available to us. So in tree identification, it will actually give you information on different parts of the tree. Different leaf patterns is what we're seeing here, different leaf shapes. And as you scroll down, you'll find more about how to ID trees. And it will also link you to the Virginia Tech Dendrology key, where you can actually, we'll look at this one because it's also available on another website and on an app. But you can key out plants. You can say, okay, that it has this leaf shape, and your list of plants goes down. Okay, the bark looks like this, and the list of plants gets smaller further until you figure out exactly what that plant is. Here's one of those organizations, not necessarily education, not necessarily government, but a subject matter specific topic. This is the Chesapeake Bay Foundation website. And again, just a reminder, I have the websites at the top here, and they'll be on your resource that you can receive as well. But this has everything to do with the Chesapeake Bay, okay? So you can see about Chesapeake Bay Foundation, about the Bay, the issues, how we save the Bay. So if you're just looking for educational resources, if we click on, for instance, the issues, you can look and find different things in there, from agriculture and air pollution to environmental justice to fisheries, land use. So we're going to click on agriculture. And with this, we'll pull up an article about how farming relates to keeping the waters clean. Farms keep areas naturalized and kind of prevent that urban suburban sprawl that we see so often, which often contributes to water pollution. But there's a whole little article on there you could look at. Another society or group that we're going to look at is the Virginia Native Plant Society. So native plants is their specialty, and we saw some of this on the DCR site. But with that, we can find information on what native plants are, where they grow best. This one's got a little bit different information, maybe a little bit further information on those particular plants. They do have a wildflower of the year, and for this year it just happens to be the American wisteria. Be careful because there is an invasive wisteria as well. But if we look under the natives heading, then you'll see a lot of different information there. A frequently asked question sheet, plant guides, nurseries, plants for specialist bees, lots of different things. We're going to click on the native plant guides, and that will bring up a list. And remember on the DCR site how we saw native plants and they had split the state up, coastal, Piedmont mountains. The Native Plant Society, along with many other organizations, including Cooperative Extension, actually have come up with native plant guides for different sections of Virginia. So here I've pulled up specifically the one for Southeast Virginia, including Hampton Roads, And these are great color guides with pictures of the plants and details about them and how they grow. Great resource. You can purchase these in a printed form, or you can download the PDF version, the document version of it, for free off of this website simply by clicking here. So some really good resources on native plants. Then we have a few sites that are not just all documents and information, but rather they're kind of interactive. They give you an opportunity to put in information and they give you information back. So let's take a look at a few of these. The first one is the Virginia Tech Dendrology site. So I spoke to this when we looked at the Department of Forestry. When we looked under tree ID there, eventually it would lead us to this. So this is a dichotomous key. These are extremely helpful when you run into something and you're not sure what it is. With this particular one, you can start keying out parts of the plant. You can look at the leaves and decide, what shape they are, how they're growing, what color they are, and then twigs, what do they look like, bark. And you'll take each aspect of the plant and take a look at it, and as you answer these questions, the list of what it could be gets smaller and smaller until you identify that particular plant. In looking at identifying plants, another resource that we have is our weed identification site. So if you find an odd weed that you're not sure what it is growing in your flower bed and you know you didn't plant it, you can look through this particular site and find it. On the right-hand side, it's got a list of different weeds, and you can click on them, and informational sheets will pop up with their name and pictures and descriptions. On the left-hand side, we would actually be able to key out the weeds, just like we did with the trees. And you'll see a list of things like, is it a broadleaf weed? Is it a grassy weed? Is it an unknown? And as you click on these and start answering a series of questions, what shape is the leaves? What color are the flowers? It will start to key it out, and the list on the right-hand side will get smaller and smaller and smaller until you find out exactly what that weed is. We also have another one which is called Ask Extension. And so Ask Extension is a chance for you to put in any question related to horticulture, agriculture. You will actually find questions on here also related to other issues such as, again, family and consumer sciences, health and nutrition, things such as that. But you can put in a gardening question here, and there are extension professionals throughout the United States who can answer these for you. And a lot of times these get routed to the closest locality to you, so you are getting information from your home base and not from, some state on the other side of the United States. It's localized information for this. So you can put in different information. Here's an example. Someone had a question about a weed. So they took a picture of the weed, they put in some information about it, and then an extension professional will come in and answer that question for them. The nice thing about this is all the questions and answers are posted. So if you have a question, you can actually search, and you can see that up on the upper right-hand corner of the screen here. You can actually go in and search, and someone may have had the very same question you did, and you can find the answer to it. Or if you don't see one, type in your question, include some pictures, and someone will get back to you. Next, we've got some social media resources. Now, social media is one we have to be really careful with because we know that social media tends to be a platform where people can share a lot of opinions and so forth. And we, again, are looking to make sure that we are getting really good information, science-based, research-based, unbiased information. So looking on social media, you need to be extremely careful. However, there are some agencies and groups that actually have social media sites. So we're going to look at a few of those that have good, reliable sites for you to get information. We're going to start with the Virginia Master Gardeners. If you're not familiar with the Master Gardener program, Master Gardeners are trained volunteers that work with agriculture extension agents throughout the state of Virginia. And so they're here to help and to kind of spread the arms of extension and help the agents reach other groups throughout the state. So this is a great Facebook site for the Master Gardener program. And they actually on this will have different posts with information. They will link it to different publications that we looked at on the Virginia Cooperative website earlier. But I also want to point out their video collection, especially since things happened last year. We have a lot of our resources that have gone live online and have recordings and so forth because we weren't allowed to meet in person. So a lot of those recordings are housed here, and they're great resources. If you just want to watch a quick video, we've got some great ones. Here's one on downy mildew on basil. This is just a little 4, almost 5-minute video that tells you a little bit about what it is, how to take care of it, how to look out for it. There was also a really good series that we had this past summer into the fall called Get Gardening, and it has a lot of different extension professionals doing little sessions on things like container gardening, firewise gardening, a lot of different things. So those are some great videos to check out. And again, this is all housed on the Virginia Cooperative Extension Master Gardener Program Facebook page. And the great thing about a lot of this is you don't have to be on Facebook to access these. Okay, so I pulled these up just through facebook.com, and I did not sign up for an account. I just searched Virginia Cooperative Extension Master Gardener Program and was able to access them. So if you're not interested in joining social media, you can still access these resources. Another good Facebook page would be Virginia Cooperative Extension. And again, a lot of the information that you will see on here, you can also find on the website. But if you're already on social media, this may be convenient for you. Or if you just want to check out some videos, they've got some great ones. There's one planning for the fall garden, small fruits in the home garden. And again, you're seeing a lot of other things on here as well. I see quite a few plant things, but we've got understanding your credit, K through 12 schooling, things of that nature. Again, cooperative extension covers many different aspects of our personal lives. So you'll find a lot of information, not just gardening on here. But with social media, also our local unit of Master Gardeners has a Facebook page. They have a Twitter, they have an Instagram. So again, once you find those reliable groups, you can find them on different media, social media, websites, and things of that nature. And you want to kind of stick with those groups because you know that you're going to receive reliable and quality information from them. All right, now we're going to look at a few apps. Apps can be hit or miss, okay? People create apps all the time. You will see reviews on apps. That is a great way to check these out too. If you go to the Google Play Store or to the Apple App Store, you're going to find a lot of different, if I type in gardening, you'd be amazed at how many apps are going to pop up. If I put in plants, how many apps are going to pop up? A lot of times we'll use the rating system. Of course, they have the 5-star rating system, and you can see how many reviews it's gotten. You can look at the reviews and see. Again, we want to make sure it's reliable sources. We're going to look at a few different apps, some of which are what we would consider extremely reliable, some of which are good apps, but can be hit or miss. And that's with a lot of these, because a lot of these apps are not necessarily locality driven. They are more subject matter driven. So we've looked at a few things and talked about how nice it is to have that local access, local information. A lot of the apps are not. They're for everyone. If it's on Google Play, anybody can download it, okay? So we'll look at a few of these and kind of feel some of them out. And again, there's a lot. We're not going to do them all, but we'll look at a few of them. The first one is called V-Tree, okay? And this is actually a branch of that Virginia Tech Dendrology website. But this is really nice because instead of searching through a website, I can just download this app on my phone, on my iPad or tablet, and have this with me when I'm in the yard, when I'm taking a nature walk, whatever it may be, to help me identify trees. And this is going to go through and just key it. We've got some pictures here. This will also find your location. Again, very important. Now, this is Virginia Tech, So all of this will be related to Virginia, but you can also key it in directly to your location. So you'll see in the second picture there, you can do your location from GPS. You can turn on location services on your device and it will find you. You can enter your location and it's going to zoom into the plant species that grow in that particular area, which is excellent because we do know that the southwest part of the state, the northern part of the state, southeastern part of the state, we have different things going on in those different ecosystems. So this will zoom you in quite a bit. It has a listing of different plants that you can go through. If you know that leaf really looks like a maple leaf to me, but I'm just not sure which one. You can pull up Acer, A-C-E-R, those are maples, and you can actually look at some of those and it will pop up with some information and pictures and you can compare and contrast. We also have some information where you can start kind of keying stuff out, picking the leaf pattern and so forth. So this can be really handy when you're out and about, especially if you have it on a mobile device and carry it with you. Next, we have Picture This. And so there are several apps out there right now where you can take a picture of a plant and it will ID that plant for you. This is a good one. Picture This is a fairly good one. I've had pretty good success with it. I've even taken a picture of a picture. I had a picture up on the computer and I took a picture of it with my cell phone and it did correctly identify it. So it does a pretty good job of identifying different plants. There's another one out there, I believe it's called Snap It, and that is another one that can be used. Leaf Snap is another one that you can use. Again, these are just apps that you can use to just identify a plant, figure out what it is. Again, most of the time these are very accurate, but we know that there's a lot of plants out there that look very similar. So it's not 100% accurate. It's very good. I've had really good success with it myself, but you have to be careful and you just want to verify the answer once you get it and make sure. Maybe look up on one of these other sites that we've seen to ensure that that's what you have. But again, this can be found on the App Store through Apple or through Google Play for your Androids. And this is just a little explanation that they give of their site. Really easy to take a photo, upload it, and get your results instantly. They have a really big database, so they're pulling from a lot of different things. They do have, one nice thing about this one is they do have a problem diagnosis where you can take a picture of, a leaf or part of the plant that is damaged, and it will do a diagnosis. Be really careful with this one as well. Sometimes there are, especially bacterial and fungal diseases, that look very similar. And it's very hard to tell without a microscope or being able to culture it which one it is. And then exclusive consultation. So they also have some plant experts on there that can help you with some consultation as well. Again, I'm not sure where their expertise comes from, whether they're involved with, some type of plant science or just really like plants, but they have some people who can answer questions for you as well. This one is called iNaturalist, and I found this one very interesting because it really expands what you can look at. Thus far, we focused a lot on plants, gardening, right? Okay, so that should be the highlight of our research. However, this one is also going to look at things like fungus, insects, different things like that, a few different types of organisms. So that was really unique about this. This one has a lot of components that are very much similar to some of our other volunteer programs that we have throughout the state. We do have Master Naturalist, and a lot of what they do is very similar to what you can find in this website. This website is an initiative between the California Academy of Sciences and National Geographic. So it has some good foundation to it. But this particular app will help you record things that you see. So if you find a very unique insect or plant, you can use this app to record it. If you're unsure of what they are, you can take pictures and put it out there. And there are people from all over on this app, and they can try to help you identify it. Hopefully you'll find someone within your area that has seen that before as well. You can learn more about nature in general. Again, this is not all plants, but you have the ability to kind of chat with people on this app. You can actually create things. If you find something, you can put it on here. You can become a citizen scientist. This is a lot like our Master Naturalist program, where you kind of do projects or research on your own. And then you can run a bio blitz, where you might create something almost like a scavenger hunt to encourage people to get out and look for a particular plant, insect, or so forth. So most of the information that we've talked about today, and another super resource for you, is called The Right Answer: How to Find Unbiased, Research-Based Answers to Horticultural Questions. So this is a document that we have a publication through Virginia Cooperative Extension. I have the website here, and this will also be provided, I believe, with the recording, and our moderators will clarify that for you when we go to our Q&A. But it is a great resource. It has a lot of other sites on it. We don't have the time tonight to go through every website and every app that's out there. I just highlighted some of the good ones that will give you quality, reliable, research-based information. But the document has many others as well that would be good quality sites. So I would say for your gardening usage, use that as the guideline. There are sites listed in there that are specific to insects, specific to weeds, specific to plants, you name it. There's quite a few in there, and I think you will find it to be a really good resource when trying to find online resources for your home and garden plant questions. Okay, so from here, we're going to open it up for some questions, and I will let our moderator come in and kind of guide us through that. Thank you.